The U.S. doesn't want to be left out and let the EU kind of steal all the thunder. The U.S. is saying, hey, we are going to pass some anti-big tech legislation this summer. Let's see what they are hoping to go and do. EU much farther along. U.S. doesn't want to be left out of the foray. And so now they are saying, hey, we're going to do stuff too. So the FTC chair, Lina Khan, is very supportive and, positive on what the EU is doing. And I guess she's optimistic that the US is going to be able to do stuff too, I guess. This was, I thought, interesting. Representative Ken Buck from Colorado, the top GOP member of the House Judiciary Antitrust panel, said he expects 3 antitrust reforms to become law this summer. And this is when he was speaking in Brussels as a part of this, regulatory conference. And he says he expects legislation to increase merger filing fees, which basically means, for platform monopolies, for platforms looking to do M&A, they have to pay more money to the government, which I guess should allow the government to get more resources, because our government doesn't already have enough federal employees, to allow them to do more work to potentially challenge, the transaction. Bar tech giants from preferencing their own products. That's a big deal. That was the last bullet from the EU's regulation and the most important bullet of that regulation. So if that goes through, that's a big, big, big deal. And then lastly, third thing here is force Apple and Google to open up their app stores to greater competition, which is actually the second most impactful bullet from the EU. So good. It's actually the top 2 things that they took, that the EU is doing. This guy is bullish, saying that he thinks they will become law this summer, which would be great news, provided that the U.S. could, again, the U.S. has a similar concept around, just using market cap and revenue and like monthly active users as like some magic mechanism to say, oh yeah, these are gatekeepers because they've got a bunch of users and they were worth a bunch of money. So then they must be a platform monopoly. Like, no, and it's not even close. So provided they can fix that and rein that in, then I'm super bullish on this. Otherwise, yes, you will have an impact on big tech, but at what cost, right? Like, think of all the other companies in this country that are then going to be beleaguered with this lazy. It's just lazy and just like B-grade quality work. Lina Khan should know how to better define like you are a platform or not, because you have a 2-sided dynamic. You got producers, you got third-party sellers. We use a bunch of concepts. They could just go read through the different objective qualifications that we use for the index. So, you go read through the 10Ks of these companies. They will talk about having producers. They will talk about having third-party producers. They will talk about network effects. They will talk about, you'll see it on the balance sheet that they have an asset-light balance sheet. You'll see it in certain disclosures that, you have to provide, for example, if you have certain supplier or inventory risk, right? You will have different kinds of disclosures if you are a platform company than if you are a linear company where you're, buying your inventory and then reselling it, or however that works, right? Either you're asset heavy or you're asset light. And you start to see that there are much better ways to classify this objectively than just users and big market cap. It's a joke. If you're actually interested in seeing how we qualify what is a platform and what is not, go check out one of our early videos on Platt and the introduction of Platt. We've had Kara, the analyst from Wisdom Tree, on the show to talk about Platt and how we qualify which companies can be in the index for Platt or not.